What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Morgan back at it again. To all of my peoples in all of the cities. OCTV, Optimal City Films, along with Sean. It's our channel. So I'm going to do something a little bit new today because we're branching out. We usually do like reaction videos and stuff. Now we're going to get into some, not really conspiracies, but just facts. Just straight facts. So I'm basically going to explain to you my take on this VR technology and how I think it's going to lead to like cloning and all human cloning I'm talking about, and all, I don't know, it's like opening Pandora's box, man. And it starts with something like this, and I think this is something that we as a culture, we as a species need to pay attention to, because little things like these that start chaos. So I believe it was in South Korea. There was a mother and a family. They had lost a daughter. She was really young to an incurable disease, it says in the article. So obviously time has passed and technology is pumped up a little bit here. So some company, I'm not going to say any names in this video, is using VR technology to basically resurrect a loved one. So you can interact with the VR technology and everything, and I get it. We have all lost somebody that we wish we could have back. But that's part of life. Death is part of life. And so I want to talk about this article before I become really deep into what I think about this and what it could become, because you're going down the rabbit hole, people. Like, technology is great. This is how we communicate now. It makes it a lot easier. But when you start trying to play, a lot of people will say play God. I mean, you just... Alright, so in the article it also states, and these are direct comments from actually the company that did it and everything. So it says, interacting with a deceased loved one is something that has yet to be fully explored by VR technology. Despite some concerns that it could negatively affect the grieving process, there are a handful of companies that are currently exploring VR capabilities in this area. And it's crazy when you like watch the video. She's interacting. They've simulated the little girl's voice to her mother. The family's there. And it says right there, it's not fully explored. And why do this? First, you test that on non-grieving subjects, to be honest with you. And I don't think it's something that you should actually do, because when someone dies and you resurrect them back, and this is what I'm going to get really deep in this. They die, you resurrect them digitally. So you're seeing it digitally. I mean, virtual reality is always going to be, it's never going to be good enough for this type of stuff. Like simulated voice, that means you can take anything back and just recreate it. Like whatever happened, just recreate it. So that's another point I want to get into with that too, is you try and, so you get this thought in your head, like, okay, so this is what I remember from, and then they upload it in on a disc or whatever, not on a disc, but they upload it right to a drive. Then it does some sort of simulation where it's recreated, and then you have that in virtual reality. Okay, that's like, oh my god, it's like simple like gaming stuff and everything like that. But then this is the one thing that you do. You want more. So you got the virtual reality thing, and it's not enough. So you want more because this loved one's gone, and it's terrible to lose a loved one. But now you say, I want this human to literally be real. Can we put the the simulation and put it in to a brain, a human brain? And that's what people call transferring of consciousness. See, you can knock movies all you want about stuff, but we're making it happen. Because last time I checked, remember when back in the day, this is way before my time. This is like my parents' time. Back in the day, was a detective. He's called Dick Tracy, right? He had this watch, and this is back what 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't know, way long ago. Technology wasn't even thought of, right? He had a watch where he could talk into it, had a speaker, and had a little screen, and the video would pop up. And he could like talk to people through his watch. Yeah, we've already achieved that. We've already achieved that. So now we're trying to put a consciousness into a human brain, which comes in the part which I was talking about, the cloning. So now we clone this loved one, find a way to put the subconscious in the brain, and then we have our person back. Our loved one, our friend, our wife, our daughter, anything like that. So now we're bringing all these things back into the equation. Now, how do you teach this person? Because it becomes a pet. That's what you did. You turned a soul into a pet. Something you always want around. You want to live in there. So here's another thing that you do too. So you start recreating memories with that person. Even let's say it works. It works, and everything. And the conscience transfers, and it's that person. But I'm gonna tell you why it's not that person, because you're gonna start trying to recreate stuff with that person that you did. Like, hey, remember when we were here? Hey, let's go there this time. We didn't do it. Hey, yeah. You start to recreate. So then you manipulate the whole thing about it, because you would like, oh, I got my daughter back that died years ago. It's not your daughter, because that was the case when we were born. We'd have multiple bodies with multiple consciousnesses that we go through, and we share all the same. No, but we are born. You could be twins. You could be octuplets, whatever. But you are your own person. You only know you. There's always something different about every single human, even a twin. They might think differently. They might walk 2 steps behind the other one. So when you start doing this VR, and I'm gonna go back to the VR stuff because it's pretty. I mean, it's fascinating because you always want to bring, and if you could just get that little bit, but us as humans and as a species, we think about stuff totally different. We think about it's always going to be the hunger for more. Because you know what's going to happen if it doesn't go to cloning, which I know it will. People will get stuck in that reality of that VR to see that person. No, if you ever seen a movie, Surrogates, Bruce Willis, watch that movie. So you basically get so stuck in that because that's the only way you could see that person, and you could only share that person with a couple of people with the virtual reality. You know, maybe you get 4 headsets and everybody look like the family does, but then you all get hooked. And then it's not enough because the feeling's not enough. You got to wear this head harness and these gloves that make you feel, and the voice just doesn't seem right. That's what you start thinking, because there's always imperfection. Then you find a way that you put consciousness in a person's mind, a living person's mind that was grown. It was cloned. It was grown from DNA. Oh, but wait, it doesn't stop there. We start bringing, because there's a lot of people that ain't humans they want back. They want their dogs, all kinds of things. And you turn this into one big friggin' pet cemetery. That's what it would be. You start doing stuff like that, you're going to turn this world into a pet cemetery. There's things and rules, whether you like it or not. Because I believe in a lot. I believe in Norse gods. I believe in God. I believe in Allah. I believe in Buddha. I believe in all that. It's all a perception. It's all a perception. Just believe in something. But that is just believing in you. It's selfishness. Because everything gets erased. But it still happened. How do you erase that? How do you erase that? You sit there, somebody dies in a car accident, boom. You go to a cloning facility, put the consciousness back in, boom. They eventually find out, hey, I died years ago. Hey, yeah, I brought you back, but it's not you. That was you. But don't worry about that, because we're not worried about that you. We're worried about you right now because you're alive. Selfishness. And that whole thing of because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of benefits in supposed cloning in this VR stuff. Like you feel that excitement. It's that high. It's like that drug. You feel the excitement because that person's back, and you put the consciousness in it. But there's bad things that happen with that too. So you can get your hands on it. Anybody can get their hands on it. You got people bringing all types of people back. Pure chaos. How do you regulate it? Oh, they probably have some type of regulation. Yeah. But hey, at one time you had to have a degree to do plastic surgery. Now you got people in Brazil with no degrees or nothing that are doing plastic surgery way better than most of the plastic surgery that's done here. They will find a way to pirate, and it'll be used for something. Could you imagine a person like Hitler being recreated by some Nazi socialist party? Could you imagine stuff like that? Putting the consciousness in? Because, I mean, they could duplicate it like they said, and they only had a little bit of thing, maybe a couple of videotapes and stuff like that. And they were able to form or create an algorithm for the voice to actually react with the mother like that. But it wasn't enough. It's not going to be enough. Because you could tell in the video, she's sitting there and she's like, she's crying and she's talking, but then she reaches out to touch her daughter. Like, you know that's not your daughter, or do you? Because you're reaching out and touch, now you want to touch and feel. You want to feel that thing again. And what happens is, it's going to make you want more. We need to leave stuff alone like that. And like I said, a lot of benefits of cloning. Yeah, I mean, if you're hurting for a kidney, liver, or something like that, I would just clone a body from your DNA, and then we'll try and find a way to fix whatever's wrong with your system by putting one of the new kidneys in from the dead cadaver. That was you. That's you, but it's not you. And then you got your organ back and you're healthy. Okay, it's called genetics and it's called fate. Who's to say you wouldn't get that again? So they can manipulate stuff like that. But we can't even cure the common cold. We can put a man on the moon, but we can't stop the homeless from being homeless. And I'll tell you one thing: you go down this path. This is how it starts. It's little things like this. This is how it starts. I mean, look how everything has evolved so far in this world right now. Look at the jump in the past 50 years. Huge jump in technology and stuff like that. And I'll get on another conspiracy about that, but let me know what you think about this. Hit me up down in the comments. And if you want to, we can exchange emails and stuff like that if you want to talk more about what you think about what I just said. Me and Sean will definitely respond immediately or as fast as we can. There's a lot of things, and that VR thing is great. And you know what? I play video games, but that's just being a little too real. It's a part of life. Don't try and recreate it. Don't try and change it until you know you have it fully perfected. But remember, would that make you God? Because something put us here way before you doing that. And I'm not doing no Bible speech or anything like that because I believe in all things. I believe everybody is right. We're all fair, right down the middle. Whether you believe in God, Allah, anything. And I don't want to bring religion in this because it's beyond religion. I keep telling people, the tangle web you weave will eventually get you bit by your own spider. So technology is a great thing, but don't move it like this. All right. Hit us up, like and subscribe. I know I probably tick some people off. They probably want to hear some more, or some people agree with it. But like and subscribe. I'll holla at y'all.